and welcome to Wanted Down Under, the show that catapults a British family right across the other side of the world to help them make the biggest decision of their life.
Jason and Ninu Huddleston and baby Naya are dreaming of a new life down under, where they can work to live, not live to work.
I think we would like something a little bit more laid back, and we think that Australia might provide that.
But the reality of house prices in Australia's most expensive city are a shock.
Yeah, in a way I got my wow factor today. It's just not the wow I was looking for.
And could they bear to leave their friends and family behind?
To be thinking about moving away when, the family might need us.
So will their idea of the Australian dream tempt the Huddleston family to go where they're wanted down under? With the global economy in meltdown, perhaps now is a good time to go walk about in Australia, where at least the sun is shining. Last year, over 60 Brits a day swapped the grey skies of home for the blue ones down under. But how tough was that decision, and how carefully did they think it through?
We've put another 20 British families through their paces as they face the reality of life down under. After just 1 week, they'll have to vote once and for all. Do they stay in the UK or do they move to Australia?
Jason and Ninu Huddleston and baby Naya are about to leave their home in outer London to test Ninu's idea of setting up home in Australia.
I probably approached Jason with the question about 3 years ago, and he was really up for it. So he said, oh yeah, that would be really good.
Ninu has idyllic memories of her carefree childhood.
I grew up in Kenya, and I came over when I was about 9 to this country. I am a sun person, and I kind of get a bit depressed when it gets quite wintry.
Jason enjoys his work as a software engineer, but not his daily commute, negotiating London's traffic.
That sort of hour each way drive is hard work, and it'd be nice to go somewhere where that wasn't the case, where we could live a lot closer to where we work.
He phones me to say, oh, I'm going to be an hour late, or I don't know what time I'm going to get home. So to live in an area with less roads would be a great thing, or motorways that are not a car park.
Jason and Ninu both grew up in Feltham, and both their families live nearby.
I have thought that they moved when we were quite young to a new country, so it can be done, but you can tell that they're not very happy about the decision.
Baby Naya has been a great hit with her grandparents.
My parents have another grandchild, so they have another grandchild, where Ninu's parents don't have any other grandchildren, so to take Naya away from them would be pretty hard, I think.
And they're not sure if Feltham's the best place to bring up their children.
It's got its problems. Most people have heard of Feltham because of the Feltham Young Offenders. There are many different types of people around here, and the diversity has increased recently, which is good in many ways, but it does generate friction, and Nina's had some tough times.
I've been spat on when I was pushing Naya in a pushchair, and you don't know whether to say, excuse me, that was very wrong, or to just carry on because you don't want to cause any arguments.
Boys, all the taking over Feltham.
I mean, I'm not sure if it's as prevalent in Australia as it is here, but I would hope it's definitely less of a threat for families.
Going to a multicultural environment is very important, because otherwise if we just go to a totally white area, I mean, it could be very difficult for her to feel at home. There needs to be a mixed community.
So it'll be interesting to go and see if I do fit in as a person.
But how will they cope when it's just the three of them?
If you're suddenly alone, you're plucked away from all your friends and family. All you've got is each other, so you'll have to pull together. Otherwise, we ain't going to be out there very long.
To help the Huddlestons make a decision that will be right for them, we gave them a trial run of life in Sydney for 1 week.
We found 3 different lifestyles for our family to sample. One in the country, one in the city, and one on the coast. Each one with the offer of a job and a brand new way of life for them to enjoy on their budget. First, let's take a look at the country lifestyle.
Sydney's sunny countryside is alive with exciting wildlife and is perfect for anyone who loves the great outdoors. With fabulous parks and plant life, there's plenty to do and see. And for horse lovers, rural Sydney is the place to be. Country living is better value than the city. For around £300,000 to £400,000, you could buy a large 4-bedroom family home. Gosh, you could even get a pool. A software engineer at this IT programming company will take home a salary of around £40,000. Supervisor Clinton is keen to meet Jason.
We primarily design and develop websites, so there's lots of room for creativity. We've been expanding at a rapid 50% per year, so it's a very exciting time to come on board. Jason, we certainly hope that you contact us as soon as you arrive in Australia.
So that was the kind of lifestyle they could enjoy in the country. So let's see what might be possible in the city on their budget.
Sydney is a collision of colour and excitement for kids and adults alike. And if you're a fan of trendy markets, sightseeing and culture, you'll feel right at home. Chilling out in a stylish small suburban apartment will set you back around £300,000. But for designer luxury, expect to pay way over £1 million. Well, we can dream, can't we? A job as a software engineer at this IT programming company will earn Jason a salary of £50,000. The MD is Joseph Sir.
This is our games room. This is where we come when we want to relax and chill out. Jason, we're always on the lookout for people of your calibre. I'd like you to come and see me when you're in Sydney. Will you do that?
It looks like their lifestyle could shape up pretty well in the city. But what about a new life on the coast?
Sydney's world-famous coastline is a sight to behold. And if surfing's your thing, you're going to love it here. Although waterfront properties cost mega bucks, a small family home a short drive from the beach will set you back around £300,000. An experienced software engineer at this kitchen management software company could earn you a salary of £50,000. Business partner Enda Hughes explains.
Ascent Software Design has been in operation for 6 years. We found a niche in the market for kitchen management software.
And if you've got a sweet tooth, Jason, you'll just love working alongside their sister patisserie company.
Having a sister company does bring many perks. Chocolate rocher. The staff do the sampling, a perk you won't get elsewhere. Jason, give me a call when you get to Sydney. Look forward to seeing you.
All the jobs offer Jason a good salary, but have very different lifestyles attached. There's the country with its wide open spaces and beautiful properties. The vibrant city centre and workplace where the competition's not just round the computer. Or the coast with its magnificent beaches and added perks to the job.
So 3 very different possibilities for our family to try. So which one did they think would suit them best?
For the Huddleston's trial week in Australia, we chose the city option. If Jason wants to spend less time travelling to work, they'll need to live close to Sydney's business district. After a 22-hour flight, the Huddlestons arrive in Sydney, eager to explore their accommodation. They're staying in the inner-city suburb of Stanmore, in a 3-bedroom period brick-built home, but with a light contemporary interior.
After you.
Wow.
Ooh, interesting. Nice high ceilings.
It's a lovely hallway. Oh, wow.
So big. Interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
It's got a lot of space, isn't it?
Big table as well.
They're impressed with the size of it and the quirky combination of styles.
Oh, wow.
I reckon this is the bathroom. The echo gives it away.
That's a huge bathroom.
More rooms? How big is this place?
It's a nice sized room. It's a bigger bed.
Lots of wardrobe space.
All the comforts of home, there's even a larder.
We could have a larder.
But what's that noise?
Lights. Just like back at home.
Jason seems to be putting on a brave face about such an intrusion.
Planes, we're used to that. I've lived under a flight path all my life, so it's no big deal.
We'd like to move away from
Yeah, it'd be nice, but you know, I mean...
I think from my point of view, an Australian home was more new. A more modern sort of suburban type property. So this is really different.
Something with this space, though.
Yeah,
fantastic.
something with this amount of space would be great. Yeah.
With the flight behind them and the unpacking ahead, they're really feeling just how far they've come.
The flight was really hard work. You can't be doing that trip very often, it would kill you.
I think made me think more about my family while I was on the plane.
Yeah, if you are to come here, you know you're not going to see your family more than probably once a year, sort of thing.
The distance is
massive,
yeah. We realise now that it's not an easy journey
to make.
No.
Is Ninu already having second thoughts?
I am very attached to my parents and my sister and brother, and I think for me it would be more questions and a bit of soul searching for me, whereas I think for Jason it would be a lot easier for him to say, you know, I love it, let's go.
Or not, depending which way it goes.
One of the deciding factors on making the move down under will be finding that house of their dreams.
I want to have a wow factor when I see a house, you know, I mean, it's that sense that you walk into a home and it just really impresses you. To get that back in the UK, you have to spend so much money, whereas we're hoping we might be able to get something like that for a little less over here.
In the UK, the Huddlestons live in Middlesex, a great location if you want to catch a plane. Their home is a modern 3-bedroom house in a gated cul-de-sac, but they dream of a more spacious house in Australia, with a big garden for their growing family. Jason wants to reduce his commuting time to work, so we've lined up 3 houses for them to view in Sydney's inner west, all within easy access of the city centre. The Huddleston's budget of £250,000, roughly $500,000, is a start. But for a house close to the city, they'll still need to take out a mortgage. Property 1 is in the popular suburb of Croydon, just a 10-minute train ride into the city. Estate agent Peter Hernfield is there to greet them.
It's a 3-bedroom family home. It's on 351 square metres, so it's actually quite a good-sized block. It's going to auction, and we're thinking it'll probably sell something above $750,000.
It's very quiet, isn't it? It's really nice.
It's a great location. And there's no planes overhead.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Definite bonus.
Peace and quiet on the outside. Let's have a look inside.
Right then.
Wow, it's old. It's still high ceilings again, isn't it? It's certainly not a main bedroom. It would be quite a good spare bedroom for guests.
Spare bedroom.
It would need a lot of work, though, I think.
Quite colourful. Green walls.
Yeah, again, it would have to be totally redone, wouldn't it? But...
Is Ninu having difficulty seeing beyond the dated interior?
Still lots of cracks and...
Yeah, the whole house would need renovating.
Oh, it's dining room.
Oh, yep. The kitchen.
Now I'm transported.
Yeah, we're in a museum, aren't we?
We are.
All the fixtures and fittings and everything would have to just go, and we'd have to start again.
But can Jason see its potential?
This is quite nice, isn't it? It'd be a nice spot to, like, with a glass of wine or something, wouldn't it, in the evening? It's quite pleasant.
Yeah.
Well, this is a bit bigger than our place at home, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what about the price?
The price seems quite expensive, actually. £325,000.
The house has potential. I mean, you can probably replaster, repaint, new kitchen, new bathroom, new flooring.
New everything.
Even though I can imagine it, I don't think it's a project that we would take on, yeah.
Yeah, in a way I got my wow factor today. It's just not the wow I was looking for. Sort of an anti-wow, maybe, I don't know.
Jason is anxious to discover why it's so expensive.
This one's 3 bedrooms. It does need some work, but the position is really very, very good. It's highly sought after because you've got some very, very good primary schools in the area. Plus, you're only about 3 minutes walk away to Croydon Station. That takes you directly to the city. But if you like, I've got a few other homes that I can show you.
Yeah.
Would you be interested?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Property number 2 is more their style.
We've had an offer of $720,000 on this one. The price is slightly different because we're a little further from the station and it's a slightly smaller block, but it's a beautiful home. $720,000 will buy it for you today if you like. So please have a look through and maybe tell me what you think.
No pressure then. but it is slightly cheaper than the first house, about £360,000. And hooray, the renovations on this property have already been done.
Guest bedroom, I suppose.
Nice.
Oh, bathroom is still quite small, but it's been in much better condition than the other one.
It might be small, but there's a big surprise round the corner.
Ooh, this is nice. I like this.
Oh wow, yeah, this is nice. Okay. This is unexpected.
Oh wow. Oh, that's huge. Oh, excellent. Ah, this is much more like it, isn't it?
This is wow factor.
This is much more wow factor, definitely.
Yeah.
Have a look at the garden.
It's a nice garden.
That's really nice. It's really well done, isn't it? So what do you think about it compared to the other one?
So much better. And it's cheaper. Oh, it's definitely got the wow factor.
Yeah.
So has our estate agent got a deal on his hands?
Jason, Nino, what did you think?
Ah, this is much nicer, isn't it?
It's different, isn't it?
Much
this
nicer
is
house.
much more what we're looking for.
Yeah. Why is this house cheaper than the last one?
It is cheaper because you're further away from the station. The station does sort of indicate a higher price because it's more accessible to the station, quicker time frame getting to and from the station.
They really liked this house, but it's still a period property. Could they compromise and give up their dreams of a modern new build? The third house has been renovated inside and out, and it's the biggest of the three properties.
I'm Charlene.
Nice to meet you, Jason.
Hi, Jason. Ninu. What we have here is a Federation home, 4 bedrooms. We do have a slight noise problem. It is a main road, but what the vendors have done is they've enclosed the balcony to reduce that noise level.
How much is it on the market?
$700,000 plus. Have a look around and we'll chat afterwards.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Jason and Ninu seem a little taken aback by the £350,000 asking price. Well, they think it's worth it.
Aha, bedroom.
Yeah,
It's a big room.
it is, isn't it? It's got a fireplace as well. Excellent.
Nice space.
Yeah. It's an interesting sort of design with little arches and
Oh, this is a baby's room.
I reckon
yeah.
this is a baby's room. Simply
Good
done,
size.
isn't it? But it's a good
size
space.
for a children's bedroom.
Definitely. It's interesting, isn't it?
Oh wow, I've never seen
really
bathroom
deep.
like this.
Ah, now this sounds a bit more hopeful. Could this stylishly renovated house with rooms that just go on and on be closer to their dream home?
Fantastic. Oh,
Nice
nice
space.
big kitchen.
Lovely open space.
Floorboards, that's good.
Dark wood.
Aircon.
It's a nice kitchen. Garden.
This would be lovely in the summer, wouldn't it?
Oh,
That's a good space, isn't it? A barbecue spot. Nice glass of wine.
lovely garden, yeah.
Maybe it is what they're looking for.
So, what did you think?
I don't think it's quite what we're looking for. The main road out the front is a real issue for us.
Okay. Look, if you're looking to buy in the inner western suburbs of Sydney, you're either going to get planes, trains or automobiles. The aircraft noise isn't an issue here, but yes, we do have the main road.
How long would it take to get into the middle of Sydney?
You know, you're looking at 8 minutes to the CBD. It's central to pretty much everything. You know, you're 20 minutes from the beaches, you know, and it's very multicultural.
Would we assume that new builds would be more expensive?
The newer buildings, the more contemporary, aren't as popular. And for whatever reason, they're not as solid. You know, they don't make them like they used to.
So, have the Huddlestons been won over by the older style properties in Sydney's inner west? The first was a 3-bedroom bungalow, but it was almost a museum piece in need of a total renovation. The second house was another 3-bedroom period property, but with a striking modern interior. The last house was the biggest with 4 bedrooms, but it was still an old-style property and on a busy main road. So how will they vote on property? The UK or Oz?
I think we're a little disappointed by what we've seen, not what we expected. So my vote on properties, based upon what we've seen, is most definitely UK.
My vote for properties we've seen is UK.
Well, not a great start. Jason and Ninu have obviously not been won over by these traditional style Sydney houses.
The Federation style is interesting, but it's not really to our taste. Initially, I expected the houses to be slightly bigger.
If we can't get the house that we want, then I'd rather have a nice house and commute a long way than commute a short distance and live in a place I don't like. So I don't think there's value for money in this area.
With the high cost of houses in central Sydney, the Huddlestons may have to look further afield or pay a lot more if they want a modern house.
So there's a lot of pressure on Jason to find a suitable job to help him support Ninu and Naya.
He's spending the day with an IT company in North Sydney to compare his work in the UK with how it could be down under. Jason is an experienced computer software engineer. They're very much in demand in Australia. Still, he's keen to impress the boss, Joseph Sir.
So can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, well, I'm 34 years old. My wife and I are looking to move to Australia for what we hope is a better life. In London, it's pretty hectic. It's very work-centric. I think we would like something a little bit more laid back, and we think that Australia might provide that.
I think you're on the right track in terms of the balance. We try very hard here to get a balance. We've got sports rooms and that sort of thing. Although it's not a big company, we do really focus on other issues other than work. So here you'll find we work a 40-hour week. For the sort of experience that you've got and your age, you know, we're probably looking at around about $100,000 a year.
That's nearly £50,000, $8,000 more than he earns in the UK.
All right, Jason, what I think we'll do now is just show you around. Okay.
While Jason gets to work, Ninu's on a mission. If they move to Australia, she and Naya will have a lot of time to fill. So Ninu's come to Bondi Beach to join a local music playgroup.
Guys, I just want to introduce you to Ninu with Naya today. She's going to be sitting into the class. Hello, everyone.
Yes, Ninu, I remember. It's like your first day at school.
We've actually got quite a full day here today.
Back at work, Jason gets the grand tour.
This is where you'd be sitting. Piece de resistance, which is our games room.
Fantastic.
This is where the guys come every couple of hours and take it out on a ping pong ball. Fairly fixed in their position all day, so being able to come here and belt the ball around is just the right tonic. So I hope you're good at playing ping pong.
Rubbish, but I can learn.
Dan, Jason.
Nice to meet you, Dan.
Dan can show you a little bit of what we do here.
So we primarily use FileMaker for a lot of the database work here.
Now, while we leave Jason to the intricacies of whatever it is, has Ninu settled into her first day?
First time Naya's seen so many babies for a week. Yeah.
The lifestyle, the beach, and it's beautiful. And if your husband's working hard or you're working hard, it's like being on holiday on the weekends because it's just beautiful. So nice. Yeah. And being by the water is so lovely. And you see whales. I see whales and dolphins.
Bye. Nice to meet you. Sunny, beautiful summer's day. I can't imagine every day being like this. The main difference I found was this was more laid back in the UK. Meeting the mums here was great as well. They were really welcoming and really open and friendly, and I was a bit surprised by that. I thought I'd be the newcomer and they'd be a bit distant, but no, they were great. I've been friends with them for years now. So.
Meanwhile, back at the office... Ah, I see. Talk about a relaxed working environment. It certainly seems to be working for this company.
I think the major difference there was their working culture. I think was a bit more laid back. I mean, well, you could see from the games that we were playing that it was more fun, I suppose. I mean, we wouldn't do anything like that back at home. From what Joseph said, there's a skill shortage of my particular skill set at the moment, which is obviously good for me, so I could perhaps demand a higher salary than I'm on at the moment. Work is the primary factor when moving to Australia, because without work you can't do anything else. You know, you need the money to be able to have the lifestyle that you want. Obviously you want a nice house and everything else. Without a good job, you can't get any of that. So it's all about the work from my point of view.
So how will Jason vote for work, UK or Australia?
It's very difficult to actually choose between the UK and Australia, but I suppose the one thing that was different, which is the fun factor.
I will have to make my vote for Australia.
These days, Australian cuisine has the reputation to rival anywhere in the world, and nowhere more so than in the restaurants in Sydney. We found out what's hot and what's not on the menu.
Sydney stands alone as one of the food capitals of the world. It does its own thing. It does some really, really great food, which brings together a lot of food styles from around the world. That reflects the people who live here, the chefs who work here.
Come from Indonesia, they come from Ireland, they come from America, they come from Thailand. It's fantastic because you can see that they can bring all different types of skill.
The surge of migrants means that Sydney's food scene is now ranked within the top 10 in the world.
A lot of the people who've moved here, they've gone looking for the things that they had back home, not found it, so they've started growing it.
What we see down here is the freshness, the availability, the sunny country. It's really the best place to be a chef at the end of the day because we have beautiful produce from the sea, we have beautiful produce from the land, and really there's nothing better for a chef to work with.
A lot of the styles of food, like Thai food, Vietnamese food, is really quite relatively cheap. So you will eat out because you just don't feel like cooking. Anyone interested in food really should come to Sydney because it's just a great place to come and eat.
Jason and Ninu Huddleston and baby Naya from Middlesex want a bit of the laid-back Aussie lifestyle, with less of a commute to work for Jason.
That sort of hour each way drive is hard work, and it'd be nice to go somewhere where that wasn't the case.
They hope they'll get more for their money, but the older properties in Sydney were a huge disappointment.
Initially, I expected the houses to be slightly bigger. I think all the houses have been quite small compared to our expectations.
At work, Jason experienced the Aussies' chilled-out attitude firsthand. But how will they cope with leaving friends and family behind?
The family might need us. Yeah, I think that's most difficult.
The Huddlestons are keen to swap the hurly-burly of life in outer London for a more sedate way of doing things in Australia.
For instance, climbing the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Leaving Naya with a childminder, their tour guide Adam fills them in on Sydney's landmarks.
Is that like a little fort or something in the middle there? What's that?
It is, yeah. That's called Port Denison. It's actually a defence system what we used to use in the early days of Sydney.
Right.
So, just in case we're going to be attacked from anyone, we built the fort to make sure that we could protect Sydney, protect its early settlers.
Wow, talk about outdoor living.
How high are we now?
You're getting around about halfway mark, so I'd say about 80 metres above sea level.
Even up here, they're still looking for their dream home. They want a bigger house, but maybe they're thinking too big.
That's called Admiralty House. It's actually where the Governor-General of Australia lives. So, obviously, very, very secure. That's the Prime Minister's residence there as well.
Right.
So you're really in the midst of some of the hierarchy of Australia right there.
The higher they go, the more they realise just how vast Sydney is and what it could offer.
Amazing.
Well, we're on top of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and it's absolutely fantastic. You can see everything, the entire harbour here. You start to really get a feel of the size of the city and how it just sprawls out for miles and miles and miles, all the way across to the Blue Mountains over in the distance. It's an amazing view.
Yeah, and what's also great is you can see how close the beaches are.
Yeah.
So Bondi and Manly Beach and...
Yeah. It's got all the landmarks that you expect to see. I mean, you're on one of the big landmarks. You've got the Opera House just over there, and you've got the harbour stretching out in front of you. So it's exactly
it's beautiful.
What you wanted to see.
With their feet firmly back on the ground, do they think Sydney can offer them the way of life they're looking for?
Sydney offers just as much, if not more, than London, and it's with the fantastic experience we had this morning as well. That it's clearly got a lot to offer on the lifestyle side of things, definitely.
From what I've seen at the top of the bridge, Sydney is vast and it has parks and bushland, and I think compared to England, the weather will just be fantastic.
Well, I mean it's spring now, and it feels about 20 degrees. It's lovely and sunny, and you wouldn't get that in the UK, so I can't imagine what the summer's going to be like.
I think it has lifted the kind of disappointment that we felt initially regarding Sydney.
Yeah, it makes life feel a little better.
Nina and Jason have been won over by the beauty of the harbour, but if they have to live in the outer suburbs, all this won't be on their doorstep. So how will they vote on the Australian lifestyle?
Comparing Australian lifestyle and family activities to the UK, I choose Australia.
And my vote is Australia.
Jason and Ninu would both struggle to cut family ties in the UK. If they were to emigrate to Australia, they'd have to be sure they'd find a new social circle of friends to alleviate their loss.
Finding a shared interest is a start, so Jason and Ninu have come to a wine tasting class. And who better to introduce them to Australian wine than Stefan? He's what the Aussies call a frozzy.
Fresh from England.
That's a French Australian to you and me.
Thank you very much. Hello. What I'll do, just to crack the first bottle of wine, and let's start it. I'll be right back.
What's that little attic which I'm not used to? Can I put on
There you go.
That's not cat's.
See, I've been here for 15 years, and I didn't know about Australian wine before. A lot of people say, oh, what do you reckon about the Aussie wine? How, compared to the French wine? Very, very hard to compare them. See, I am an Aussie as well. I should say my son is a little fuzzy. Anyway, now on the first nose, very fresh. 4 words to describe wines. Fun, friends, love, passion. If you don't like it, leave it, doesn't matter, we'll go to the next. Be objective and have fun. Very, very important.
I love the fact that with wine, there's no such thing as a right or wrong opinion.
Of course not. It's about what you like and about what you want to eat it with. And
Put your nose into it and tell me what you think. As I said before, everyone's got 5 senses, woman's got 6, especially Nino. Anyway, now, guys, how do you like that?
Strong, citrusy, and sweet.
Sweet, it is like in the end of it, citrusy, definitely. You're absolutely right. You see, on one nose you go, oh my God, you've got memories coming out. I remember 10 years ago I lost my father, and my father used to love Chablis Chardonnay based. When I put a Chablis on my nose, I think about him. So it's more the story behind it.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next.
Oh, yes.
You can't beat the French for romance. As the wine continues to flow, what do Jason and Ninu think about the idea of making friends over a glass or two? Or is that 3, Jason?
Well, the combination of the jet lag, the lack of sleep because of the baby waking us up at 4:15 in the morning, and 3 glasses of wine or however much. I'm feeling pretty good at the moment, actually, yeah.
The people are very friendly, they're very keen to share their thoughts, and they are generally really happy, friendly people. Initially I was quite apprehensive about not making friends, being quite lonely, but by sort of doing an activity like this, it has opened our eyes up that we can make friends.
Even just walking around in the street and stuff, people are actually not afraid to look at you. And in London you've got a whole, you're not allowed to even make eye contact almost with people. It's all very confrontational.
For the stage of life that we are at, you know, raising a young family, it probably is a better place to be than back home.
Is there no end to the Australian hospitality?
I will drink it now. If you put in 1 more year in your cellar, what's the use? Not the point. It's ready to drink. That's my philosophy on wine.
Yeah.
When it's ready, drink it. And I'm so happy for you guys. You just arriving in Australia and giving you that pleasure. I love giving 100% pleasure. I love giving 200% pleasure. I mean, nearly neighbours. I'm from Dieppe.
Chin chin, salute.
Chin chin. Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Sorry to put an end to all this jollity, but it's time to vote on making friends.
For the potential of making friends in Australia, I do vote Australia.
Most Australians that we've met so far have been very, very friendly. So I've no doubt that we could make friends over here. So my vote for making friends in Australia is most definitely Oz.
As the end of their week draws near, Ninu and Jason reflect on their life-changing decision.
I think we almost offended the estate agents we spoke to when we said we don't like the Federation, the older style of housing that is all over Sydney.
We didn't know that, you know, in Sydney that was the type of house that was sought after, and it was, you know, the most expensive sort of type. The more Federation sort of elements or old style elements you had in your house, the better.
It's a bit of a surprise actually, because we expected something significantly more than what we think we've already got back in the UK, and I don't think we saw that.
It was and is still surprising that Sydney is so expensive, and to perhaps afford the house we would like, you know, our dream house, is probably not within our budget. Certainly if we moved to Sydney we would be downsizing, which is a bit of a sort of, you know,
disappointment.
Yeah, disappointment.
With the work side of things, it was a nice surprise in that they actually seemed to have a lot more fun, or at least tried to have a lot more fun than certainly the work environment I'm in. Hopefully nobody at work sees that bit, but I'm sure they'll understand. Australia's a lovely place to be. Sydney is a wonderful city. It's lots of fun. Everyone seems really laid back and really friendly, because we have heard that some parts of Australia can be slightly racist. And we didn't see any of that in Sydney. It was every culture, big pot of everybody just getting on with it and being friendly and happy and getting on with their jobs.
There might be still areas on the outskirts that are not so sort of multicultural, but I don't think I'm too worried now, having been, so... A
decision I don't think is any clearer in my head as to what we're going to do. If you're trying to set up home, you need to find a house that you love, and until you find that, then it's very difficult to have any serious thoughts of coming. I don't know, I don't even know how we're going to come about making this decision, to be honest.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah, very.
It's going to be very hard.
However friendly the locals, the fact remains they could never replace family entirely. We showed the Huddlesons some messages from their loved ones back home.
First up are Ninu's mother and father, who has recently been unwell.
Ready then?
Okay.
Hello Jason, hello Ninu, hello Naya.
Me and Ninu have a really good relationship. We can be very open with each other and very honest, and she's very caring older sister.
Ninu is delightful.
Yes.
She's a lovely girl, and now she's given us a little granddaughter, which I think is an absolute miniature Ninu. She's gorgeous.
Ninu is a brilliant soul, brilliant girl, and she's a very lively person, you know. Yes.
She's very hardworking, yeah. And we think whatever she pursues in life, she's definitely going to make it a success.
Naya's made a huge difference to our family. She's probably the best thing the family's got at the moment.
Naya is very, very cute girl. Small little cutie thing.
She was very, very excited, but I was feeling kind of, I'm sad. I don't really want you to go.
I was really angry, actually. For purely selfish reasons, I was like, how could you consider leaving me and the family?
If in Sydney they could meet or make friends with other cultures, it'll be better for Naya, because we would like her to be brought up in a society where it's not just only whites or Indians, but it's multicultural.
It's very difficult when you go to another country and you start from fresh, and you have to build up new friendships. It's gonna be hard, I know, because I've been through this.
I just miss not being able to see my son mature, and I should just miss not being able to watch Naya grow.
Considering our family situation with my dad's health, it is a difficult situation.
I have to be honest, I mean, in my heart, I would like to say to them, please don't go, because we're going to miss you and we'd like you to be here. But I have no right to do that.
It's not happened, and until it does, you don't really know exactly how you're going to cope with it. But so far we've coped with everything that's come along, and I think we'd cope with that.
Oh, we'd have to, wouldn't we?
Yes.
You're such a good emotional support for me, and I think this will just force me to grow up a bit. I do hope you're enjoying the time over there. I hope you're enjoying all the experiences. And I'm getting emotional too.
We want you to know that we love you.
Yes.
So bye for now, and take care, and remember we love you.
And see you soon.
See you soon, yeah.
Mentioning my dad's sort of ill health at the moment. Yeah, I think to be sort of thinking about being away or moving away when perhaps, you know, the family might need us. Yeah, I think that's the most difficult.
Almost like in their hearts, they're almost letting go already, and we haven't even made our decision yet, so that makes it quite hard to see.
They're full of love for us and us for them, so we wish we could just bring them with us.
Yes, it's the distance is too great. You can't just suddenly do a halfway house on this. You go and you leave them behind, and you may see them once, maybe twice a year at most.
Yeah. The more I think about it, I don't like that idea.
No, it's not a nice idea.
No.
It's the end of their trial week in Sydney, and the Huddlestons have packed a lot in. They've hit the heights.
Now I'm at the top, it feels amazing.
And the lows.
It's old.
It's old.
It's totally not us.
They're looking for some peace and quiet.
Planes. Just like back at home.
Jason's scored at work with the salary and the fun factor. But for Ninu, leaving her family would be the hardest thing she's ever done.
To be thinking about moving away when, you know, the family might need us.
So will their dream of a new life on the other side of the world be dashed by the pull of friends and family back home? It's time for the final vote. Will they choose to stay in the UK or move to Australia?
I think at this stage it hasn't quite been what I was hoping for, and therefore for my life for the future I will have to stay with the UK.
But for now, if I really had to think about which country I need to pick after my just 1 week in Sydney, I'd have to say UK.
Sorry. I haven't found the house. That's as simple as that, really. Sydney just wasn't quite all that I wanted because of the house.
For me, I am completely shocked today that I would prefer to stay at home, but it is purely because of family.
With so many things to consider, this has been the biggest challenge of their lives.
Despite being disappointed at the type of properties they could afford, the Huddlestons found life in Australia very much to their taste. But in the end, the pull of family and friends proved too much, and it seems they won't be moving where they're wanted down under.
A home which needs a complete overhaul is going under the hammer next year on BBC One. Then a just married couple are looking in Lichfield for their perfect pad in To Buy or Not to Buy at 11.